What's up, chaps and chappets? Welcome back to another FUT Champions Road to Glory, or Tryhards Rtg series, of course. Today we're getting into the next 20 games. Now, we're in a decent run. We certainly were until we hit the last two games. I think we lost literally the final two games. It's a rough one. So, you know how it is after you lose a couple of games on FUT Champions. You're thinking, you know, let's switch it up. But often that isn't the right thing to actually do. And I'm just delusional, is what I'm saying. I literally just turn into a delusional player every time I lose a game. And I'll just flip any team that I have, just like that. And then I'll sign, get this, Daniel Sturridge. With a sniper chem style as well, as if he couldn't be, like, slow enough already. There's no pace boost on him at all. I don't know what I'm thinking there. The two centre mids are a relatively good idea in a 4-4-2. We've got Moussa Dembele and Renato Sanchez, both with a sniper chem style, so they can, you know, get a decent shot. And look at that. He's actually pretty sick. Renato Sanchez, he gets a little bit unlucky there, I'll be honest. And he was a bit salty, to say the least. Now, I would probably do the same if you've got Luis Suarez. I think that was Luis Suarez in form as well, nonetheless. And he misses from there. So he just goes, yeah, I've had enough. And I'd do exactly the same, to be honest. Wouldn't be surprised if his controller is also in Rip City right about now. So we get into the next game, of course. Poor start. And here's the thing is that I was hoping, you know, after we've taken the L's, that maybe we're not going to play against decent players anymore. Maybe the teams, like the tier of team is going to drop quite a bit, and it wasn't the case. Simple as that. It was not the case. We're literally playing better teams almost every single game. Team in the tournaments. One player that I really hated coming up against was Ferdinand. He was just mad. Absolutely insane because he's so strong and fast. You try and take it past him and you regret it just about instantly. So we switched to a 4-1-2-1-2 in games, something I haven't really done. And this is definitely something that you should think about doing. It keeps your mind in the right place, you might say, by making sure that you're doing sort of game management, altering the pressure, altering the settings during the game to make sure you're not just giving up, basically. And we fought till the end. We lost 3-2. Fair play, he had a better team than us. And also, at this point, we're losing our head a bit, I'll be quite honest with you. And we're switching tactics, like I say, every single game. So we're now playing, I think, a 4-5-1, which a lot of people regard as one of the worst formations on the game. However, it can work pretty well. Like, if you use... It's basically the kind of tactics that Man City play right now. The sort of premise of it is that you get the wingers, or in this case, the right mid and left mid, who can track back and also go forward and almost become wingers anyway. You get them to sort of occupy the left back and right back. And then that creates, I think, what they call the half spaces. You know, I've definitely been doing the revision on the Guardiola tactics. This is when I was going to do the Road to Glory or whatever, which fell through. But it creates the half spaces for the centre mids. So the two centre mids on each side, close to the left mid and right mid. And then the middle centre mid is kind of like the pivot to pass to him and all the rest of it. But, you know, that's just a brief understanding of it. And it does work really well, attacking-wise, if you can keep your headspace. If you have a team, which is a very good team, you know, technically, physically, all the rest of it, then it'll work really well. But I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty much saying that you need a decent team for it to work. At least I feel like. Because defensively, it's not a very strong formation. There isn't much of a plan at all. I mean, you're looking for the plan B, and it's just not there type thing. Nonetheless, we're 0-0 at this point. We've got a red card. Heung-min Son tucking it away. And it just proves that once you play the patient play, often good things can come from it. Because I'm 1-0 up with a red card up against a better team, like a much better team. And we're now 2-0 up because we get the penalty, of course. Heung-min Son darting down that wing wins that penalty quite happily too. So, Smalling going in, we're playing aggressive plays. So every single time you lose the ball, you're fighting to get it back. And that's the best way to play in this formation anyway, because at the end of the day, most of the attacking players are going to be just left in no man's land when they're on the attack. If they breach your midfield, you're pretty much done for because you've got one centre mid, no CDM. So you have to make sure that you're just trying to do as much as you can with those attacking players when you lose the balls. So we start off, nice bit of play, sweating it across quite happily too. We go for a challenge here. Renato Sanchez, pretty respectable challenge too. And he's a decent lad, you know. He's putting a shift in. And then we concede like that. Absolutely shambolic. I literally don't even know what's going on there. It's just AIDS. It was a decent, like, stop and turn, I'll give it to him, but I don't know. I think he just got a bit lucky there. Then he gets the ball with Salah. Shoots from outside the box. I mean, we just know that he's going to shoot. We know he's going to shoot. We're just waiting for it. And he eventually does. And then this is just choke city. The fact we should never be losing that game, to be honest with you. That guy was not even that good. And we've lost that game. So we go straight into the next one. You know, we're salty. Salty as can be. I take him down. I get a penalty. It's just a shambolic game. We end up losing 8-3. And I didn't even mean to take him down. I was pressing LB, like spamming LB. And also spamming X to slide. And I accidentally switched to the centre-back. And took out that guy who was not even on the ball at the time. So there's a bit of a salty one there. But we've got to try and pick up some form. Because there is still a chance at this point of getting elite. That is the aim at the moment. Trying to get elite. Minimum, I always said to myself going into it that minimum would probably be gold 1. I did predict that there would be a lot of good teams, but I did not predict there would be as many as there were. Every single game, it sort of hit that point where after the first maybe like 4 or 5 games, every single team had at least one team of the year or multiple icons. There was always at least one icon, but there was usually multiple icons and a couple of team of the years here and there, which is tough to handle, especially when we got the team that we have. We're having to use squad fitnesses as well, which is using up a lot of coins. I'm thinking after this FUT Champions, maybe use some of the rewards to create multiple squads just to try and save coins and build it up. But at the same time, that isn't going to be what gets us a good result. Because if we've got 2 25k teams, say if we got 50k, then it's not going to be that great, arguably. However, if we could save up a lot of money from not using squad fitnesses, that would be decent. Renato Sanchez there. I do think he is very good, especially with that sniper chem style. He gets a lot of goals. And with a 4-4-2 especially, I think I did just switch back to the 4-4-2 at this point. With a 4-4-2 especially, he likes to come forward quite a lot. Especially the 2 centre mids. Although you have one stay back while attacking, they come forward anyway. So we switch to the 4-2-3-1. It's usually my sort of go-to when we're winning the game. And we think that the opponent has a lot of attacking presence. Wow, you talk about attacking presence, and then you see that team. That is mad. Yet again, another stupid team that we come up against. Son gets the ball across. Renato Sanchez. I said it just a second ago, man. The sniper chem style really helping us out. So we're getting every single chance in the back of the net. So we switch to the 4-2-3-1 once again. I told you about the attacking presence side of it. This lad has got plenty. So he cuts in here. I've taken it down with Smalling by accident. Oh, dear. He tucks it away as well. So that's 2-1. And one of the things that I'm definitely taking away from this, I think that arguably should have been a block. I think I was a bit unlucky there because I did predict that. But I feel like one of the things that I definitely need to take away from this is focus more on the defending, because I'm focusing so much on attacking. Probably, I think that's one of the things that comes with losing a lot of games towards the latter end. You're just thinking about, oh, you know, let's just get the goals, go all out aggressive. You're not bothering about the defense, basically, because you're thinking you're in that attacking aggressive mindset because you just want to get wins fast. You just want to get elite or whatever it might be, and it just doesn't work. Impatience doesn't work in all walks of life to an extent. If you try too hard without putting that much work in, you might say, or you're sort of, what's the word for it? It's like, I don't know, just over arrogant. It's type of dark side type stuff, you know, just going through it without really knowing what you're doing, without putting any theory work into it and all the rest of it. You know, watching the Pep Guardiola tutorials for tactics. Some of you might have already seen this Pep Guardiola tutorial. We're basically using the Pep Guardiola tactics that we implemented ages ago. Now, the problem is with this is that this is one of the most attacking styles of play on the game. And when you're coming up against players that can defend well and then just hit you on the break with Ronaldo, it's not really a good idea. We get rid of Joe Hart eventually after signing Begovic. You know, we get rid of him. All of the other clips we were showing in it sped up, you know, fast motion, but we let him die a painful, slow death because he was a shocking player for us. Letting everything in. The opposite of the UK border force, I'd have to say. Wow. Absolute shambolic stuff. I don't know how Ronaldinho is scoring from there. That's just, I mean, I guess it is because he is Ronaldinho, but it just seemed like a bit of a strange one. Like, he's literally just got the ball, bang, just like that, without any skill. pay to win. Antonio gets a ball, though. That's a nice finish. I was not expecting that on his weak foot. Although it is 4-star, it's just the fact that he's on the spot, you know. He's sitting nice and cozy, and he gets ready for it, and he dispatches it nicely. So we're 3-2 up, 90th minute. Happy just to see it out. We give away the ball there. Mangala not quite getting there. We drag out the defense all over the place. He gets it with Sergio Ramos. Lovely drag back and a beautiful goal. And here's the thing. We're 3-1 up in the 88th minute or something. And we've let that slip. That is the worst performance, I think, out of any FUT Champions game in terms of just letting it slip. What such a disgusting choke. I don't know how I've managed to choke that. I was just in pure disbelief that I actually choked that game. And once it hits extra time, you know, it's 3-3 after losing, you know, the 3-1 loss or whatever. Yeah, 3-1. The head goes. Doesn't matter what happens. To be honest, it's just a guaranteed loss once you lose something like that in the last minute, because you just can't recover mentally, I feel like. And that is also one of the biggest challenges of FUT Champions, is the mental game. And it's also what differentiates, you might say, you know, big words coming out to play. It differentiates all of the pros at the top level, I think, that is one of the big things. The mental game, because they're all at a similar sort of level. And how's your headspace after that? How is your headspace after that? That is the most disgusting goal I've ever scored. But I deserved it. I deserved it based on the game. And then he just, you know, we can't get luck without them getting luck, basically, is what happens. He just gets a complete AIDS goal there. I pass it to him. At that point, it's just impatience. Just like every performance at this rate. We're losing game after game. The momentum is well and truly against us. I'm not trying to say the FIFA EA momentum. I literally just mean mental momentum, you might say, because we're just in the wrong mindset. We're changing the formation. We're changing the tactics. When you're sort of... I think one of the biggest things is when you're losing games, you sort of lose confidence in your game. And you lose confidence in your attack. And you start playing a sort of attacking style that just doesn't result in many goals. You take less risks when you should be taking more risks, I think. And then that literally means that you're not going to score as many goals. And to be fair, that is a good example of us taking a good risk and getting a good goal. But there's so many plays that I was doing earlier at the start. And we're playing against similar tier opponents, I'd have to say, towards the start. But we were just taking our chances and producing much more chances from taking the risks in the right positions. And once again, that is actually a beautiful goal. Everything I'm saying is pretty much going against me now for what's happening on the screen. But, you know, these are some decent goals. This game I did sort of turn it up a little bit in terms of the attack. And we actually got the win. We got the win against that team. That's mad. In the sort of headspace that we're in. 3 shots. I think that was 3 shots on target, 3 goals. That's very clinical, has to be said. So 6 matches remaining, 23 wins. What's going to happen here? We get the ball across. We're starting to... I think we're getting a bit of that attacking confidence back in us. Purely because we know that we're close to gold. We'd have to win every single game if we wanted to get elite, which I was kind of just like, that's not going to happen, to be honest. With the teams that we have and the teams we're coming up against, there was no confidence in that. So I was kind of happy just to settle for gold 1 at this point. I wasn't going to give up on it. I wasn't going to give up on elite until I'd actually lost a match that says in black and white pretty much you can't qualify or you can't get elite anymore. So we were just going to fight for that until the bitter end, you might say. So we get 5-1 in that game. We were starting to turn up. We were starting to find a little patch of form. And then it just came to a close. We ended up playing against this guy who was just an incredible player. Sick team. Caught us at the wrong moment, I guess, because the mindset is still a little bit off at the moment. We come up against another sick team. No, 4-2-3-1. We switch up to because I think this is probably the best way to play against better teams is the 4-2-3-1 formation. We get a lucky penalty, which we dispatch quite happily too in the 39th minute. As you can see, our defense is doing a bit better. I'll say that once again. It's the curse of a commentator. What is that? That's shambolic. That is just pure embarrassment right there. The board of directors probably walking out after they saw that. But we get a goal back. You know, we turn their backs. And then we get one more, I think, just to finish them off. Or is that it? No, that is it. So we get the win, which means that we get gold 1. It's literally impossible to get elite at this point. So I didn't really see any real point of getting any more games played. So I just left it there on gold 1. So that's quite a decent result. I'd say that's probably around about where I expected to finish. I was hoping for elite, but it wasn't to be. I think because the mindset just kind of went. The headspace went, you might say, as well. But nonetheless, that's going to be the end of the episode. Make sure to leave a like if you want to see more, of course. Subscribe if you're new around here. We also get 50,000 coins, 2 jumbo rare players packs, which is pretty mad, to be fair. That will certainly improve the team. There's no doubt about that. So thanks for watching. See you on the next Mbirchy episode. You absolute chaps and chapheads. GG's.